Hello everyone, it's Davide here and welcome back to Learning Finance. In today's video guys, let's do a stock market update because we are seeing that during the recent days actually lots of people are getting scared, already talking about the new stock market crash. Mostly, or at least the media are saying that it's due to the new variant approaching the United States, lots of uncertainties and stuff. But let's take a look whether this stock market crash is something to be worried about or it is something that it's kind of normal movement of the stock market. Now, before to start this video, actually, I am sorry I haven't been able to post any video during the recent month and a half. It's been an extremely busy period for me and I came back to the UK. I had a lot of stuff to do. Sorry about that, but anyway, I am back. And let's take a look at the stock market right now, the situation with this apparently stock market crash. The only thing I ask you guys as always is please leave me a like, it's very important and I thank you for it. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new updates. Let's begin. Now, the first interesting thing to watch is the 10 years Treasury Yield, US bond, obviously. If you remember, actually, back in the last videos that I made, I told you how, in my opinion, all of that inflation drama, inflation fear with the bond yield was about to end. That was just my opinion. For me, that was like the worst period, and all of that fear was about to peak. According to the 10 years Treasury Yield, actually that's what has happened. The market at the moment is definitely slowing down on that fear of inflation. At the moment, this graph is telling us that it was just temporary. Now, is the market right? Is the market wrong? Actually, we don't know that. But at the moment, the market is expecting less craziness with the economy. So probably a slowdown of expanding, a slowdown of stimulus moving forward, and also this fear of the new type of pandemic, new variant. There is also a big fear that the economy can slow down probably even more moving forward. Today, the yield is minus 8%, which is a lot, okay? We are not seeing that since basically the worst times over there in March. However, let's see how stocks are actually doing, and let's start obviously with Tesla, which, as you know, I own. I told you how, in my opinion, the more it gets near 500, the more it gets interesting. If it gets lower, even more. I told you I was expecting some sideways move. Okay, Tesla went up a lot during the last year. And it's not that it is a bad business and now it's moving sideways. It is that it needs time to actually grow and justify the valuation. So at the moment we are stuck in this sort of triangle, as we are seeing volumes are going down, fluctuations are going down, the price is getting compressed inside this area. And let's see, actually, let's take a look when the price will be able to break above or below those levels, okay? Above, probably, I don't know, we should have some kind of great news, great earnings and stuff like that, beating expectations, or below, probably a bad news, but can create opportunities, in my opinion, because Tesla at 600, yes, I will not add. But if Tesla drops near 500 or even below 500, around that area, in my opinion, is where the company becomes interesting for the long term. But anyway, I obviously continue to hold Tesla and absolutely not problem in keeping it in my portfolio. Then guys, let's take a look at Palantir. Palantir, which obviously is another company that I own, and to be honest, I've added a little bit between Friday and today. Well, look at this wonderful pullback. Where is the stock right now? Do you remember this green area over there? Huge support. And if you follow the channel, you know that I talked very much about that area over there, the 21.5, 20.5 area, and it looks like that the stock just bounced from there. So that's a nice pullback. Am I shocked to see the stock touching 27 and coming back? Well, absolutely no. Okay, now it's a stock that I own. It's a company that I love. I think that it has a tremendous long-term potential, but it takes time. It takes time for the company to continue to develop, to create the market that it is trying to get in, because it's a new market. Everything will have to come, okay? It's a stock of the future, that one. So when it comes to today's price, I think that for Palantir, if you want to get in, these pullbacks are absolutely great for you, okay? So nothing to be worried about, in my opinion. And indeed, I have added some more. Because in today's price, in my opinion, 27.5 over there is too much. I have done some fundamental valuation on it. I've shared in the channel at least 2 or 3 videos. I also told you about the scalability plan that can really push Palantir higher. But in my opinion, today's price, if you buy between and near 20 or possibly even below, like for example happened over there, which is where I actually bought the stock, okay? I built basically the 90% of my position over there, as I told in the videos back then. But those are the prices to get in my opinion. When it comes to buying at near 30, well, it's probably not cheap. So seeing that pullback, in my opinion, is perfectly healthy for the stock, for the price, and there is absolutely nothing to be worried about. Let's see if this support will resist over the next few days. In my opinion, yes, it will. It is a strong one. It's not going to be easy to drop below it. Anyway, if it does, well, I'm going to buy more. Let's take a look then at Square, which obviously it's a stock that we have been following the channel, and it is in this sideways move actually from December, okay? It hasn't done that much. If you remember my valuation, I told you how around 230, 225 is the fair price of Square if we consider, however, the Bitcoin business. And I told you many times how whenever it gets near 200 or possibly even below, like happened over there, in my opinion, Square is still a buy, okay? Back here is an interesting opportunity if you like the company, if you like the fintech world, okay, moving forward, which in my opinion will be big. The only problem will be regulations, but 230, so it is an area where personally I will continue to hold, but I'm not adding anymore. I'm adding something if I get the price below $200, below 190 is even better, because without considering the Bitcoin business, in my opinion, Square is more interesting in a price between 180, okay, something like we hit over there. We have a huge strong support that basically kept the stock above that level since December. Then guys, let's take a look at Alibaba Stock. Alibaba Stock, which, well, sadly, if you remember this positive bull trend lasting actually since 2019, has just been broken. Now, what that means, well, obviously it's not something positive to see, but, well, as long as we stay near it and it doesn't actually, the stock collapses below 200, in my opinion, nothing has changed, okay? So when you look at graphs and things like that, well, it doesn't change much in terms of $3-4, okay? Anyway, Alibaba continues to struggle, especially after Didi. What happened with Didi? So the sentiment with Chinese stock is obviously very bad at the moment, continues to be bad. It's been bad since October 2020, when the government shut down the IPO of Ant Group. Anyway, in my opinion, it continues to be a stock with an immense potential and extremely cheap. So am I worried about all the DD situation and that kind of stuff? No, I continue to hold both Alibaba and JD. If you remember, first of all, it's just a 10% at the moment of my portfolio. Probably right now is even below just because of price fluctuations, okay? But anyway, it's not that I have like a lot invested in it. So everything else is in the United States at the moment. But I think that with the long-term view, what you are buying here is an extremely profitable and great business, something that you're not gonna find too much at this particular price. And I think that all this negativity with the government trying to shut down tech companies and all that kind of stuff is something that will pass with time. Okay, if we take a look in 5-10 years, it's gonna be different. And Alibaba and JD, both of them have a huge potential, okay, in terms of return, in terms of what you're getting for the price that you are paying. Now, I know that, for example, also Cathie Wood said that Chinese stocks are too risky, we need a revaluation, reset, all that kind of stuff. But in my opinion, that's too late to say. It doesn't make sense to say right now. First of all, the issue was already going on before the IPO of Didi. Okay, so buying Didi meant that who bought Didi didn't do the actual due diligence properly, in my opinion. So it's not something new. It was something that was already going on with that particular stock. Is it gonna affect everything else? Well, in my opinion, it is pretty clear right now what the government is trying to do with tech companies. It doesn't like that tech companies becomes too powerful as in the US. But in terms of the business itself, in my opinion, Alibaba and JD, they can do well, even with regulations and stuff in 5-10 years, because China is going through a massive growth over the next 10 years. In my opinion, those two are two of the most important companies over there. And so because of that, I'm actually not worried about it. And we see that the market actually is trying to find a bottom, it looks like, around the 200 area. Bad news are not influencing the stock anymore that much. Okay, it looks like that is trying to find the bottom in the 200 area, and in my opinion is a wonderful price to get in if you like the stock. Okay, same stuff. Let's take a look at JD as well. It looks like, you see, we bottomed, we touched around 66 in May, and as of now it's just moving sideways. If you remember, this is the green box over there. I told you that it was very likely for the stock to remain inside that. This is what it's doing. But in my opinion, that one as well has a massive potential, okay, in terms of a return over the next 5-10 years. So obviously there are risks, but for me, holding a 10% in China is absolutely fine. Okay, so despite all the fear, negativity, I think that because of that, now you are actually getting bargains. Let's say that that negativity goes away, you're gonna see those stocks literally doing 30-40% in just 3 weeks, 2 weeks, okay, just because of that. Because in terms of businesses, well, they are amazing, so there is nothing to say about that. Once again, here, nothing to be worried about. So in terms of this fear of stock market crash, another March 2020 is going to happen. So in my opinion, no. But I told you many times how 2021 was not going to be like 2020. It's going to be more complicated. That's how it's been right now and so far. Simply because 2020 has been like a dream year, but that's the normal stock market. So going up, going down, moving sideways. But if we take a look at the Nasdaq, we have just gone through a crazy run in the last 2 months actually. So pullbacks are absolutely normal. I don't see the fear of a stock market crash. And I think that for many stocks, actually retracing, pulling back, and coming back to a more normal prices is healthy, okay, for the long-term returns. So I am absolutely not worried about this situation. We are gonna see how it's gonna continue to move in the coming days, if we're gonna get more bargains or not. Anyway, I hope you find the video interesting, guys, and subscribe to the channel if you want. And as always, have a wonderful day.